Nixon would wake up in the middle of the night too, and he'd be like, "Drop the nuke," you know, and they'd be like, "Ah."
So tomorrow morning we're gonna have like the Legend of Vox Machina kind of watch party thing on Twitch. So I decided to take Amazon Prime the free trial for that. And apparently they have Prime Reading, which Prime Reading, Kindle Unlimited, like there's so much. I don't think I'm going to have time for any of this month, which is a shame because there's actually quite a few books here that I like the look of. Now, I am not kind, so I would go full scorched earth in this shit, but here is a comment that I've left on a YouTube video, which I'm not gonna name because the author does not want this person to be harassed over it. But please look up the book or the course. A similar one-day thing was held a few years back, so I have heard about it, and it is a fascinating subject, and it would be nice if people didn't fucking plagiarize, you know? So I gave it some more thought yesterday, and it's kind of good in the sense of like not showing the person's username in case they decide to give credit, which is all that the person wants. I highly doubt that's going to happen though, given that the first comment pointing it out was mysteriously disappeared. But also, you will never guess what came in yesterday. A reviewer request in which the villain is an evil G-slur, and it's... Sometimes I despair of people. I don't know how to say no in a way that's professional. And again, like, it's one of those situations where I don't really want to be professional, but speaking of despairing of people, there is an appointment booked for today where I am going. I don't know what it's called, I don't know, but we're going to talk about benefits, and I'm going to tell you right now, I highly, highly doubt I'm going to get that. Because we live in a very nice place. I don't contribute anything to the bills, but you know, I live in a nice place. I also have savings. It's the savings that I think are really gonna screw me over, because you can get money from the government, but you cannot have over a certain threshold of savings, and I'm pretty sure I'm over the threshold. But at the same time, like, I do not want to not have life savings. That's like, I think it's heinous to take someone's ability to have life savings away from them. But yeah, I don't think this is going to go well. Gothic Mansion. This is where I am, unfortunately. I really wish I were better at this, but unfortunately no. And it's going to be a very in-bed month for a vlog as well, unfortunately. Morning. We're trying to get back into biphasal sleep, because that's when I'm at my best, and it is not fun today. We're in a really weird place with like work and pleasure, and yeah. So I think it was last month, I was like, I don't know why I'm in this mood to listen to songs that I don't like, but that are really nostalgic. Because they're doing weird things to my brain. And then this month we've got like Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds and Shaman King, and got back into fan fiction, and I just realised that the thing that I really needed to read for tomorrow and it's not going to get done for tomorrow. It's the coldest girl in Cold Town, and it's like, oh man. Wow. Also, Instagram took me back to last year's October prompt, and that was so nice. That was so nice. I wrote that so bad. I'm not the writer that I was back when I wrote fanfiction, thank God. But also, it was really nice going through like all of the reviews. Some still make me angry all this time on, but like, a shout out to Lady Natsuka and Jenny, and I'm so so sorry, Jenny. I'm not picking that up again. It was really funny though, to see the "oh, you made me cry" comments and all the talk about like, "oh, you did like good angst, not like overwrought." Because that's the one thing that like has not changed. Like, my on the chamber door literally starts off with a bombing. Yeah. The hurt, I think, is like the one thing you can count on me for, even after all these years. Amazing. I literally have no proof, but I could have sworn that we were at 99 cents. That's really disappointing. So the bad news keeps coming, I guess. The Omnia Fantasy Ball has been cancelled. There were not enough sign-ups. And I am sad. You know, it would have been nice to go with my friends, and I did have an outfit planned that I was going to sew, and I really like it. But I am also not going to lie, £135 is a lot, and I think I'm just, at the moment, more happy to get that back. So we're going to be trying this. Hopefully that's going to be nice. And I will tell you a little bit about what that was all about. So there's a podcast that I love called Fated Mates, and they talk about the Kindle era a few times because it was such a massive shift, especially for romance. And apologies for not remembering any of the authors' names. One was very, very lucky and got her backlist back in time for this, and so she made bank. And there was another one, and I don't remember the story perfectly, whether she didn't get her backlist, the rights to her backlist back in time, or if she was just like new on the scene. But the phrasing that I remember in this last episode and that they've said before is that she wrote her backlist, specifically by writing a book every 7 weeks. And I've heard this a few times, but as you may remember from my Can I Write a Non-Fiction book in a month, I really like challenges, even when I don't like being suckered into them. I can't help it. I hear a challenge and I tend to be like, me? For the most part, I have been fine with this, and this time it got me. I think that's 7 books in a year. There is currently a submission period going for like an anthology that I really wanted to be a part of, and it is a little bit sus, I will admit, because they're asking you to pay them when you submit, and they have announced 2 anthologies already, but neither of them have released yet, so maybe this is all a big scam and they're going to do a runner. I am a very slow writer, and so it is probably not going to get done for the, they set it back to the 23rd now. I do have hopes. I run into a little bit of trouble with it, but I do have hopes for that, and also a submission period that ends on the 31st. These are also both for like short stories, so I've never managed to write a book in that amount of time, I don't think. Even when I won Nano last year, we were nowhere near finished. I don't know what the hell I was doing. This always happens with Nano, which I'm not taking part in this year because of the AI debacle and last year's shit. But 50,000 words, and we weren't even like really started. We weren't even at the halfway point. It's really bad. But I think it got to me this time because there was a Great Kids on Bikes game that my group played, and I had a character. She was 13, she was like a velvet goth, and I love her so much that I'm kind of hoping to ask the group if it's okay if I spin her off into her own stuff. She'd be like 29 or like early 30s in the year of our Lord 2024, so it wouldn't be the same. She wouldn't be like a kid in the 80s, but it would still be pulling from a lot of stuff that we did. And I guess one of the things that I saved when I saved my notes from the old phone was a novella, a romance. And if the submission period passes for this anthology, its word count was 3,000 to 10,000 words. I think I could make like a novella out of it. So it's just, we've gotten to a period where like I have quite a few ideas for quite short works, and it's more feasible than before. It's not necessarily any better an idea than before, but I think that's why it's got me, and we'll see how it goes. This is in conjunction with Y25, by the way, which is like a yearly project I do. Next year rather, it will be a make a fake video game, which is basically like part walkthrough manual, part character index, part bestiary, just like settings. It requires me to write in a way I've never written before, so expanding on skills, and also how to learn how to art, which is start a new skill basically. Yeah, the chances of success can keep falling, but yeah. Yeah, that's about the mood. Okay, so it was in a little bit longer than it should have been because I was distracted with the food. And my little tea strainer was not available, so it's a little bit bitsy. So listen, I'm pretty sure that there is a thing with Chinese teas where it's like you're supposed to blow it away from you, and there's like meaning in that or symbolism or whatever. I heard that from mum, so take that with a grain of salt. I am adopted by non-Chinese people, um, but I'm going to be a little bit sacrilegious. So that is nice, actually. It is. It's the most that's accurate to its title. It is my least favorite of the teas. One of the goals that I keep having and that I end up never fulfilling every year is to read a dictionary again because I used to love doing that. And I just end up never really having time. So I'd like to point out that I have finished all of the page for Q. Um, and I'm doing this because of the A to Z of Fantasy series, which is so far behind. It is painful. But I am really thankful for it too. So, end of day report, I guess. I really not been doing well of late, and I wasn't getting any writing done this week. So it came and went, the deadline for this submission. I'm sad. I'm really sad, but I guess kind of relieved as well. I think it's a great idea for a story. Now that it's not going to go there, I think maybe I could expand it a little bit, make it more of a. We talked about doing uh, 7 books next year, and I think maybe that could be a nice little novelette. Okay, so it is our Halloween night in the sense of like movies and cake. Uh, it is a shame that it's not closer to the night itself, but it's fine. It is also the first night in 27, so maybe about 15 years that I'm not the one hosting it, which feels incredibly weird. And like, I love that I'm not doing the work. I do, I do really love that I'm not the one doing the work, but it feels weird and kind of uncomfortable because of that. Like, you don't need me, but no, it's good. It's good, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I don't know what the movie is going to be. I haven't been like energized for sewing of late, so it's basically just a vaguely kind of old fashioned looking dress with gothic earrings and a fancy necklace. Kind of more like history bounding than strictly anything actual, but um, good enough, hopefully.